Agriculture is the mainstay of Kenyan economy. To this end, the agricultural sector looked to develop agro-processing industries that will benefit the farmers by value addition of their produce. Some of these industries that develop from this strategy include the sugar industry, tea and coffee processing, alcohol and yeast processing. On today's episode, we look at Njoro Canning Factory located in Njoro, Nakuru County, which deals with the processing of agricultural produce such as corn, beans and vegetables. Karan Grover, the general manager for Njoro Canning Factory, gives us an introduction of the factory. It started in 1973 with a huge market then in the European market.
Njoro Canning Factory is based here in Njoro, about 20 kilometers away from Nakuru County, Nakuru town. And we are in the food processing company, and we deal a lot with farmers and fresh produce and vegetables. The company started in 1973 and just in the same location, and we first started with procuring French beans as there was a big demand of French beans. So our first factory was procuring with farmers French beans, processing them. We were canning them in cans and also putting them in glass jars. And our biggest market was the European market. So we were in conjunction with the French embassy, and we were sending about 300 plus containers to Europe just on French beans.
70% of Nakuru County is highly productive in terms of agriculture, and it is one of the counties that have adopted good agricultural practices which have been transformed into profitable and commercially oriented enterprises. Njoro Canning Factory took advantage of this and diversified to canning of farm produce that are largely grown by farmers such as maize, beans and sweet corn, which has made them get a niche market for their canned products.
Growing with the farmers, and a new product came up which was sweet corn, and there was a demand for it. So we then had to now educate the farmers on how they're going to grow sweet corn to give us the best yield.
Contract farming generally involves a pre-agreed price between the investor or company and the farmer. In Kenya, contract farming is on the rise as more agri-investors have specification needed to grow a variety of crops due to the consumer demand. Njoro Canning Factory has trained their farmers on how to grow their produce and has offered a market for them.
We got these seeds from overseas. We brought them over here, we introduced them, and we then trained the farmers to grow sweet corn, which you can see over here. And this is one of a product that has really grown its demand. And now farmers are growing this in large scale. They've understood the yield of it. We then went further because of challenges that we normally face in terms of procuring vegetables, because competition increases, the market keeps changing, food habits keep changing. So we then went into the frozen side. And where we are right now, this is factory 3, and the frozen is called an IQF processing plant. And we then now take potatoes and the same vegetables, and we pass them through a different procedure of now freezing them. So we have the canning of these vegetables, and now we can actually freeze them as well. And this is actually a good part of value addition. So we've actually invited a lot of farmers to come to the factory. We work along with them. They see how the product is being processed, for them to understand the amount of yield that we require, the kind of quality that we require, and this is now improving their farming techniques. We do a lot of training with them. We are dealing with over about 5,000 farmers now. So the process works in such a way that either they get their seeds or we help them get these seeds. We then give them the technique of how they're supposed to grow it. We then also give them a schedule of when they're supposed to plant them in order for us to receive them in batches.
Karan Grover further explains that they give seedlings to farmers who later grow them following their instructions. Over the years, they have lost farmers who started to do their own value addition, and new farmers have come on board as well.
Once the produce comes here, we wait for them, we do the entire process, and then we now support the farmer with the next cycle. So we give them another lot of seeds. So we've been in with them since 1973. A lot of farmers have added. A few other farmers have moved on. They've now gone into their own additional value. That is one of the challenges that we face. The other challenge that we face, of course, is the changes in the climate, of course. And we have that issue where sometimes the season is not good. But we're trying to work with many other farmers as opposed to stopping the market. So hence we then have to diversify again. So now we've got into spices. So we encourage other farmers now because of its value in yield. So now we deal with spices. We buy a lot of turmeric and cloves, ginger, garlic that also comes from the area. And now we also process spices and herbs.
The future of value addition is bright in Kenya. With new farming technologies, farmers will be able to produce in and out of season, providing enough raw materials for the food processing industries. Njoro Canning Factory has put its best foot forward in capacity building for the youth and offer them with internship, even employing them so that in future we have adequate people to run more value addition industries.
We have the university next to us, Egerton University, and we work a lot with now the graduates that come from there. So in terms of we supporting them with internships, with attachments, and we groom these students in such a way that they understand the business, they understand value addition, they understand production. And they are the ones who then get employed here, or they go to other places and get employed. We work a lot with the community as well. We have most of the people who are working over here within the community, and we prefer, in line with the big agenda, the Agenda 4 of the youth and the women empowerment. So where we can help the youth and women, we try our best. And in fact, 80% of the labor employed here are from the youth and the women. And that builds the community. We've been here since 1973, so of course a lot has also grown around the region in terms of farmers, in terms of businesses, in terms of little shops and kiosks that have opened within the area. And we now just have to continue our production, and we look for diversification in other things. So we've gone now into producing of water, renewable energy. We had small issues with the challenges we had with the firewood. So now we've gone into our own production of briquettes, which we use for our boilers to create steam. So within the years we have grown, and the only challenges we face is now things to do with the farms and procuring these vegetables. The season changes. So we try and help farmers now as much as we can in terms of farming techniques and using greenhouses to give us productivity.
Value addition has many advantages to the consumer as well as the producer. During the production season of the farm produce, there is always a surplus of products such as potatoes and cabbages, which leads to farmers fetching low prices for the items. Value addition instead increases the value of the produce since it can be stored and consumed much later when the demand goes high.
Value addition was very much needed. First of all, eating habits have changed a lot. Storage habits have also changed a lot. So when we talk about value addition, a lot of farmers, for example, would grow, it's an example, we'll have about 10 tons of cabbage. And if not procured well, the farmers would have to then dispose this cabbage at no value. So we process it, we add value by dehydrating it. And it gives us a shelf life of about 3-4 years. And this helps the farmer hold the product. This helps even consumers store these products well. Demand has also changed because now we have a lot of people in the working industry that don't have time to go and peel a potato, fry the potato, and they go for something that is easy, which is frozen chips in your microwave, and it's a meal. You open a can of beans, you heat it up, it's a meal. And because the eating habits have changed a lot, that is why value addition of vegetables and procurement has really increased. And now farmers also have this benefit that in case the produce is not being sold, we can then assist them in processing this and holding the shelf life of the product as opposed to just disposing it. So these kinds of processing where we do the canning, we do the freezing, we do the dehydration, it adds value to the product directly, and this benefits both the farmer and the consumer. Now a consumer, when during off season, for example, when there is no potatoes in that season, they're able to then go and procure something from the shelf in the supermarket that can have a shelf life for about a year. And this has really helped in terms of value addition for both the consumer and for the farmer.
In Njoro Processing Factory, the MD clarifies to us that there is no preservative used to prolong the shelf life of their farm produce. As many people may be wondering how a produce that should originally go bad in just a few days can last up for a year long. Some process, such as exposure to high temperature in order to deactivate the enzymes or bacterial growth, can prolong the shelf life of the farm produce if well combined with proper packaging. Among the challenges being faced by investors working with contracted farmer is the high cost of farm inputs. Karan Grover attests that their farmers use appropriate farm inputs for good production.
There are various challenges that we are facing in this industry, and one of them being the most important, which is with the farmers, is to do with the techniques and farming methods and things to do with fertilizers and the prices that is incurred in terms of cost. And this cost then goes all the way till the end consumer. So when a farmer has to go and procure, we try as much as we can to support the farmer, because it is an investment for them in terms of fertilizers, seedlings, their land, machinery as well. And a lot of things have become a challenge for them in terms of the supply of these things. And then the cost adds value, and when we add value to the product, again it adds another cost, and that goes all the way till the consumer. So we would really like, which the government is doing right now, but a bit more, in terms of helping with the farmers in better and cheaper, and giving them rebates in terms of farming.
Freezing foods preserves it from time to time, and it is prepared to the time it is eaten. Since early times, farmers, fishermen and trappers have preserved grains and produced in unheated buildings during cold season. Freezing food slows down decomposition by turning residual moisture into ice, inhibiting the growth of most bacterial species. Samuel Masharia, the factory manager of Njoro Canning Factory, enlightens us on the processes involved before the product reaches freezing stage and the kind of produce they freeze.
Garden peas, frozen sweet corn, frozen potato cubes, frozen carrot cubes, and frozen chips. We source our raw material locally from contracted farmers. The farmers mainly depend on rain, and actually this is our season have started, which is the first season. Where I'm standing, it is raw material reception and storage area and preparation area. We have machines that assist in production. Like where we are, we have a cleaning line and peeling line for potatoes and carrot. On the far side, we have a pea powder that separates peas and pods. After preparation, the product is taken inside the factory for sorting and cleaning. After cleaning, it is blanched. Blanching is a hot treatment for a short time. After this, we do cooling, and then we do IQF. IQF means individual quick freezing at -40. And then the product is stored in the cold room, which operates at -18.
Njoro Canning uses data loggers to monitor the temperatures in their cold rooms. A temperature data logger, also called a temperature monitor, is a portable measurement instrument that is capable of automatically recording temperature over a defined period of time. The digital data can be retrieved, viewed, and evaluated after it has been recorded. Sweet corn is an increasingly growing delicacy in Kenya today. It is a hybrid variety of maize with high sugar content. Unlike field corn varieties, which are harvested when the kernels are dry and mature, sweet corn is picked when immature and prepared and eaten as a vegetable rather than a grain.